Are you wanting to grow an audience so that you can either sell your product or service? Or maybe you have a message that's deep inside of you that you know needs to get out. You know how to help people and you have a calling to serve them. If so, keep watching this video because I am going to give you my thoughts on how you can grow an audience. Before we get started, I'm going to invite you to join my free Facebook group down below, which is going to give you lots of information about video marketing for entrepreneurs. Would love to connect with you in there. My name is Anita. I'm a video marketing and social media strategist. I help business owners just like you get more visible through video marketing and content repurposing. As always, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. All right, let's dive in. And for this conversation, we're going to need to share a cup of coffee because the reality is growing an audience, no matter what kind of audience you're trying to grow, it may take a little bit of effort. All right, before we can grow an audience, you really need to know who is in the audience. Who is it that you're trying to serve? And the more specific you can be about this, the more likely you are to be able to attract them. Now, when I say who is it that you want to serve, what I'm talking about is who is the person who's staying up at night thinking, this is the problem I have. And you are up at night thinking, I have the solution to this problem if I could just find them. That's how you find your people. Okay. And it's going to take a lot of thought on your part. There's so many trainings I see out there on how to find your ideal client or your ICA or whatever it is. And they ask questions like, what do they like to eat? And what do they like to drink? And do they have a dog? And sometimes that's important. If you are a product-based business, or you have a food product, or you make something for dogs, for instance, absolutely important. Okay. But for those who are online business owners who perhaps aren't selling something specific to that, but maybe you're a copywriter, maybe you build websites, maybe you're somebody who has some sort of service that you do, that whether they own a dog or not, it's not really relevant. You want to think to yourself, what is relevant? Look back at the past clients you potentially worked with. What do they all have in common? And if you haven't worked with any clients yet, you want to start thinking about what would be in common with the people that I would work with. And here's the thing. When I think back about all of the clients that I've served over the years, they're all different. They're all different in that they have different messages. They have different callings on their life. They have different ways that they serve. Some of them had products. Some of them have services. Some of them sold t-shirts and some of them sold transformational coaching. Some of them were life coaches and some of them were makeup artists. They're all different. But what do they have in common? For me, they're all people who have identified that they have a message inside of them. They have a service inside of them that they feel called to. They feel like there's just something inside of them and they know what it is and they need to get it out there. They're people who have gotten their hands dirty in figuring out, okay, so how do I take that message and turn that into a business? And they've found something that they know helps people, whether it's a service or a product. And what it is that they then have a problem with is visibility, because they think, well, I know this works. I know the message I have. Now I just need to find the person. If the person who's up at night thinking about that they need this, if they could just find me, I know I could help them. For me, that's my people. And so I tell you that because who you serve and how you talk to them is going to differ. You want to know who. Tip number 2 for growing an audience, you want to know where. Now, here's the deal. You don't need to be everywhere. You do need to be where your ideal client is. And so depending on what it is that you're selling, you want to be thoughtful about where they're going to be. If you're selling a baby product, you probably want to be where parents are. If you're selling something where your target market is 60-year-old women who've lost their husbands, you want to be where they are. They might be in a different place than the people who are shopping in the baby aisle. You want to be thoughtful about where. And when you're thinking about where, you also want to think about, where do you like to show up? Because the best place for you to be is this great intersection between where your ideal client is and where you like to show up. There's often this small overlap that occurs. That's your sweet spot of where you start. Now, I will say one of the easiest places for you to show up is on YouTube. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. And when you can rank on YouTube and Google, we know we're finding a lot of people. But how we narrow down who we're finding is by making sure that we're specific in our content and who it's for. So my vote, of course, is YouTube. However, I've helped people grow across multiple social media channels. And what I can tell you is you absolutely can grow an audience. You can find your people. So we've talked about who and we've talked about where. Now we need to talk about what. What do you need to say to them? And part of that is going to be really thoughtful about the questions that you are asking yourself. See, when you ask good questions, you get good answers. So instead of just asking, well, what can I say? What do I know how to say? Maybe if you speak to them directly, they'll start thinking to themselves, wow, it's as if this person is inside my head when they wrote this. It was as if this person was listening to my phone conversation last night, and then they knew what it was that they should say in this video, this podcast. Get really curious about the people you want to serve. Really curious about the questions that they're asking. Really curious about what it is that really would empower them or light them up. All right, so now you know who you want to talk to and where they are and what it is you need to say to them. And as you start talking to them, you're then able to make offers that will allow them to know that you're there to help. Sometimes that can be through free offers, paid offers, products, services. But if you don't do this work ahead of time on who it is you're talking to and what it is they need to hear and where they are, you might find yourself consistently posting on a platform and not getting any traction. And here's what I'll tell you. Let's say you've done some of this work before and you've been posting on Facebook for the last 3 years and it's not increasing your sales. You've been showing up in your stories on Instagram for the last year and not one more client has come to you. You've been posting videos on YouTube and you're not getting traction. And you don't know why. Nobody's seeing the videos, right? It might not be that you're in the wrong place. It might be that you're not using the tool correctly. Because I have people come to me all the time saying, I have 4, 10, 20,000, 100,000, 200,000 people following me on this platform, but I don't know how to turn that into helping my business. And that's part of what I help people with. I help people get more visible, but not for the sake of just people knowing your name or the name of your business or what your product is. I help them get more visible to convert that into sales, because good content is content that makes you money. Good content is content that grows your business. And here's the thing, you can have an entire audience, but if none of them buy from you, you can have an entire audience, but if none of them ever buy from you, then it's just vanity numbers. Last tip I'll give you. If you're trying to talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And people say that, and that seems simple. You're like, but I could serve everybody. And you're afraid to narrow down into who you talk to. On some platforms, some content, yeah, you can give value that is going to apply to a larger group of people. But when you're marketing specific things, specific offers, specific products, you need to get more specific into who it's for. If you like content like this, genuine information on how you can grow your business and your marketing, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I really care about giving you information that's really going to help you move your business forward. Your message absolutely matters. And I know that the calling that you feel in your life to do the thing that you want to do, I know it can be successful with a plan, with good marketing, and consistency. And we've just started Q4. If you haven't yet sat down and worked on your goals for Q4, go ahead and click the video that I'm putting on the screen, and let's do that together. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.